Welcome back, Alyssa here, and today we are going to be talking about my top books of 2020. I waited till the end of December to make this video because I wanted to give myself the chance to read any more books in December so that they could be included. I only read manga. December is a very busy full month for me, so I don't particularly usually read a lot of big heavy books during that time, but I wanted to give myself the opportunity to, just in case, that way I wasn't just not including something on the list. So with that said, let's just go ahead and jump into this. There is seven books on this list. I will start with the two books that I don't actually own. So the first one is The Miraculous by Jess Redmond. It is a middle grade book, and I got it through the library, and I spent the entire day devoted to reading it and crying at the same time. It was beautiful. You follow the story of a little boy who loses his faith in miracles after his, I think, like 11-day-old baby sister passes away. Like, it tells you that in the synopsis, so I didn't spoil anything, so don't get upset with me. But you follow the story of how he loses the belief in miracles and good things to happen in life because of this, and you follow him trying to navigate his way through life and everything, and the new friend he makes along the way who became a very important person throughout the story. So it was just very heartbreaking to just read this story of this little 11-year-old boy who just has lost all of his faith in miracles, which was like the one thing he believed in most, and it broke my heart. So that's what that one was, and so that was a 5-star read for me. Like I said, I devoted the entire day to reading it, and I want a copy for my shelves because I can definitely see myself reading it again, but it's also it's beautiful. So the next one after that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I listened to the audiobook for this one, and I listened to it in an entire day as well. I could not stop. It was beautiful, gorgeous. The story was just so heartwarming, and it's so hard to really explain how I feel about it, but that is the best that I could do. Like, it was beautiful. Just plain and simple beautiful. Monsterland by James Crowley. This one I read during October when I was challenging myself to read a bunch of middle grade spooky books, and it proved to be much more interesting than I had initially thought. And for me, it was how a particular well-known horror creature was used that really pulled me into the story. Because, you know, he falls into this new world. He falls into this world where, you know, creatures like Dracula and the swamp creature, or, you know, Frankenstein, things like that, like, exist, you know, werewolves, vampires, that kind of thing, and this boy is navigating through this world, and he's partnered up with, you know, a very rough and gruff, particular mean character who is very well known in the world of horror stories and stuff. I wasn't expecting it, and it did that trope that I love where it's like, I'm this big brooding angry man who works alone, but this child is with me now, so I will protect him at all costs. He is my son now. So that was like a big thing that sold me on it, and it was fun. It was a very quick read. It was very, very good, but I really liked how this particular well-known horror creature person, I'm not really sure which word to use for him, I guess creature would be best, was used, and that's what I really liked most. Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. another book that I read in a day. Most of my books that I absolutely positively love are books that I just cannot put down, and they take me anywhere from a day to 2 days to read because I just can't get enough of it. And this was one where I read it in one day. It's short enough to do so, you know, and my copy has all of the beautiful art in it, which is really what drew me to picking this up in the first place. Because I was initially like, oh, if I don't like it, I'll give it to my baby sister because she loves the creepy, Halloween is her favorite holiday, okay guys? So that was like my thought process behind it was, if I don't like it, I don't like it. No, I was a crying mess. It broke my heart. It was freaking beautiful. And I definitely, when I had said I was gonna start reading it, like a lot of people were just like, oh my god, that book is so heartbreaking, it's so sad, it's so just, it's like it's definitely a sad book from start to finish, and you're just like sucked into it, and I'm a sucker for books that like really break my heart. It sounds terrible, but I am. I like a book that can really make me feel my emotions. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is my first foray into reading anything by Robin Hobb, and I was pleasantly surprised. Not surprised, I don't want to use surprised. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed all the illustrations in this copy. Like, I had never read anything by her, and I was like, look at this beautiful illustrated version. I'm just gonna buy that one. Because I'm a sucker for illustrations, okay? So I liked the introduction to Fitz, how you meet Fitz as a child, and how you kind of get to watch Fitz grow up and understand like the bare basics of how Fitz becomes who Fitz becomes. For me it was a great introduction book, so that was what I enjoyed most, and it kept me entertained. Next we have, and I actually read this one in November, is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. And see, I can't put this here because I have the books pulled all the way forward. There we go. Let's hope it doesn't fall on me. So I read that one, and I picked it up by chance because mine is the Book of the Month version. If you didn't see the 70,000 different logos for Book of the Month on their books, please stop doing that. So I picked it up just by chance because I had 2 credits with them, and they were like, hey, you gotta use your credits or they expire. And I was like, seriously? You guys haven't had anything I wanted, that's why I haven't used them. So I picked that one and another one, and when I got it and I looked through it, I was like, oh my god, this looks like it'll be a pretty quick read because of the formatting style. So I read it and I was immediately just sucked in. I was like, because it's like a sci-fi mystery thriller kind of thing. I don't even know if thriller is the right word because I don't read thriller books, so I don't know what the content of like thriller is, but I know mystery, and this was definitely that. And it was just, it was mind-boggling at times, and like there were at times where like what the character is going through, I was like on the other end like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like I was feeling his panic, like especially early on in the book, like what's happening to him is making him panic, and I'm over here reading too, like having an anxiety attack and panicking along with him, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. sir, are we gonna be okay? So it was very, it was, I don't want to say it was stressful, but it definitely, like, I felt the emotions of what was going on. And so I got sucked in, and I really, really just fell into it, and I ended up loving it. And the fact that, like, you really follow the story from, like, the actual character's point of view so many of the sentences are very short and sweet, and it makes sense because I felt like I was inside of his head, like trying to listen to him like tell me exactly what happened, and it wasn't flourished with all of this excess information like how most books are when, you know, you read a first person point of view book or whatever. So it was just really interesting because I felt like I was in his head the whole time, and it kept me just entertained and wanting more. And I just, it definitely got to the point where I was just like, I don't know what direction this is going to go. So again, it was another book. I finished it in 2 days. And that was just because there was a few parts that were just a bit difficult for me to understand, and it was just because it got very technical with the science aspect. Science was never my strong point, so so I got a little technical a few times where I was just kind of like, what? But other than that, and that's like a personal thing, you know, but other than that, it was great. It was enjoyable. It kept me coming back, and I liked just how quickly you could get through it, and just like the fact that I felt like I was in his head all the time. This next one is my top #1 absolute favorite book that I read this year, and I actually had gotten it last year at around the time when it came out, but it took me a while to get to it, and I'm upset that I took so long to get to it because it is without a doubt one of my favorite books. Like, whenever I see anyone else talking about it, I freak out. And that would be Cersei by Madeline Miller. This book, one day I also, so I can't stress enough, the audiobook for Cersei is phenomenal. The narrator knew just when to drop her tone, bring her tone up. You would go from like hearing Cersei talking to like having this hopeful like feeling to just feeling absolutely hopeless, and you were just like, and it made so many of the scenes hit harder. I personally connected with a lot of what Cersei went through in the book, and that's really what drew me into loving the book. Was there was just so many things about her as a character that I was able to just personally connect with, like when she begs someone to love her. I know what that feels like. I've been there. My brand new ring light which is connected to the power bank died. So as I was saying, I very much connected very personally with Cersei, so I know, so it hit me on a much deeper level, and I really liked that Miller was able to take this small little Greek mythology story, because I love Greek mythology, so I was already very aware of who Cersei was as a goddess and what her role plays, and the fact that Miller was able to really expand it and create something from it was just astonishing for me. And the biggest thing was just watching Cersei's emotions. You know, she was happy, she was sad, she was angry, she took revenge, she felt bad for the revenge she took. Some of the things she did to people she felt horrible for. Others she was like, nah, they had it coming, I don't feel bad for them. There was just so many different things about Cersei in general that I was just like, I saw a lot of myself in, and it was so easy to connect with and just immerse myself into the world, and it just became this beautiful story. And I think for the parts that like Miller changed or took little liberties with to expand on to create something more, I think she did wonderful with it. She does leave out like the tail end of like Cersei's tale about who she, you know, after she leaves I with, you know, her son and all that other stuff, but that's okay. That's okay, because that part of the story gets weird anyways. So just overall, it was beautiful. Like I cried, I laughed, I was like, yeah, Cersei, get your revenge. And other times I was like, Cersei, stop, Cersei. And like in the back of my head I'm like, I know why she's doing this, because I've done it myself before, but stop. stop. So it was just, it is the one book where like when I see it and I just can't help but just be like, that's the best book ever written. and I love it, and I'm like I said, I'm mad that I waited so long to read it, but it was so worth it, and I will definitely see myself reading it again. Just, it was beautiful. So that is my top, what did I say, 7 books of 2020. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe, like button, the notification button, and drop a comment, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!